I always prided myself on being an exemplary husband, even before we tied the knot. Taking full responsibility for my wife's financial matters and treating her with respect and protection were second nature to me. One day, I decided to organize a vacation for Marinka. After careful consideration, we settled on Georgia as our destination. It came highly recommended by those who had visited before, boasting numerous monasteries, a beautiful coastline, and charming small towns that allowed visitors to truly experience the country's unique flavor. Marinka decided to bring her friend along, and they embarked on the trip together. I borrowed some money to cover the expenses for 2 weeks, and a little extra for indulging in some wine. Before they left, I made a request to Marinka. "Please bring me at least 3 bottles of wine," I said. "If possible, bring back more. It's become somewhat of a legend that we don't just enjoy alcohol, but appreciate it as well." Marinka agreed with a smile and promised to choose the best wine for me. As she bid me farewell, she waved and joined her friend on the vacation. During their time away, Marinka sent me numerous photos capturing the breathtaking beauty of nature and architecture they encountered. Each time, she expressed regret that I wasn't there to share those moments with her. "It's a shame you couldn't come," she captioned the photos, tugging at my heartstrings. Anticipation grew within me, and I decided to prepare a surprise for Marinka upon her return. I purchased a new coffee table for our apartment, envisioning her delight when she discovered it. Little did I know that Marinka had her own surprise in store for me, and it was far from pleasant. The days flew by, and finally, the moment arrived when I went to pick up my beloved wife at the station. As Marinka and her friend disembarked from the transport, their sun-kissed faces were beaming with happiness. They shared stories of how delightful and beautiful the vacation had been. "You should have been there. It was truly amazing," Marinka exclaimed. She couldn't contain her excitement and declared that they had already planned to return to the same hotel next year. What a wonderfully convenient location. The proximity to the sea and the breathtaking views from the terrace make it an irresistible destination. As I nodded in agreement, I made a mental note to recommend this place to Marinka for our next trip. Little did I realize that her interests extended beyond just the terrace and the surroundings. We bid farewell to her friend and her husband and turned towards the house. My impatience grew, and I couldn't help but ask, "How is my wine?" Eagerly awaiting her response, she reassured me, "Your wine is safe and sound, securely packed in a large suitcase in the trunk, waiting for you to savor it." Delighted by the news, I couldn't wait to get a taste. While Marinka hurriedly made her way to the bathroom, I decided to open one bottle in the meantime. I carefully opened the suitcase and unwrapped 4 bottles, each meticulously wrapped in cloth. 2 were nestled in towels, 1 in a scarf, and the last one in a sweatshirt. I took them out, inspecting each bottle with curiosity. In the midst of this, something caught me off guard. A handful of money fell out from the pocket of the sweatshirt. Normally, I wouldn't have paid much attention, assuming it was just a few coins left over from our trip. But the amount I saw was astonishing. It was far more than what one would typically have after a vacation. I counted the money and almost gasped. It was nearly the same sum of money I had given Marinka just 2 weeks ago. She hadn't spent much during our holiday, so it seemed like she had used it all to purchase this wine. They had spent half a month in a foreign country, and the realization unsettled me. Reluctantly, I placed the money back in the pocket, closed it, and proceeded to taste the wine. I attempted to push away any negative thoughts that crept into my mind. However, the following day at work, I found myself unable to concentrate on any task. The image of money pouring out from that pocket haunted me incessantly. Unable to shake off my unease, I decided to search online for the hotel where my wife had stayed and read reviews about it. The hotel owner was quite active on social media, especially on my classmates. I stumbled upon numerous photos, capturing the hotel from various angles with different people. However, the most recent pictures predominantly featured Marinka and her friend. Nevertheless, the man embraces both girls while posing against various backdrops, often in nightclubs with a table as the setting. He accompanies these photos with captions that exude a heroic tone, proclaiming his desire to ensure his esteemed guests have a delightful vacation while showcasing the local attractions. He prides himself on being a gracious host, but this realization causes beads of sweat to form on his forehead. However, Marina's words echoed in his mind, revealing that they hadn't actually frequented nightclubs, but rather spent their time by the sea or on excursions. This revelation left him needing more than just words. He hastily contacted his wife's friend, requesting a meeting to deliver an item he had forgotten, and seized the opportunity to share a collection of photos sourced from social media. She didn't deny his request for long, enticed by the promise that he would disclose something to her strict husband. To her surprise, it transpired that his beloved had spent those 2 weeks not merely with a friend, but with a man from Georgia. They had shared both their days and nights together. In light of this revelation, he refrained from accepting any money from her for transportation or accommodation. She had already settled her debt, so to speak, with him in cash. Left with no alternative, he promptly showed Marinka the door, harboring no desire to lay eyes upon her again. How could he have invested so much effort into their relationship, only to be deceived in such a manner? Who knows, perhaps this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather a recurring pattern each year. That entire night, he wrestled with insomnia, unable to find solace in sleep. Instead, he utilized the time to leave candid reviews on the private hotel's webpage. His words were devoid of fabrication, recounting the events as they had unfolded. He issued a warning to other men, advising them against leaving their wives unaccompanied unless they wished to encounter the shocking surprise of a dark-skinned baby at the maternity hospital the following year.